Kathy with Eyes2Jesus.blogspot.com. Welcome to New Year's with Eyes2Jesus. Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Eve is when I spend the day prepping and cooking a lot for tomorrow's feast, and then the night we have a party. So I am cooking right now. I have several sweet potatoes boiling in this pot, thus the steam going on here. The sweet potatoes are kind of small. I wasn't able to get very big ones. So if I have enough, I'm going to make sweet potato casserole and a sweet potato pie. If I don't have enough, then they're just all going to go into a sweet potato casserole. So I'll know more about that when they're cooked and mashed, and I can really measure out how much cooked mashed sweet potato I have. Meanwhile, over here, I'm getting to work on a cranberry cobbler. And I just took a whole 12-ounce bag of fresh cranberries from the produce department and just dumped the whole bag in here. You only need 3 cups, and I'm not sure how much 12 ounces are. Maybe it's a bit more, definitely not less. So a 12-ounce bag, 3 cups of cranberries in here. All right, and then to that, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of white sugar. So I'm just going to sprinkle that right on top of the cranberries. Making cranberry cobbler is kind of fun. It's pretty, because especially when you're making it in the winter time, because the sugar going on top of the cranberries kind of looks like snow, and then the red color of the cranberries really kind of pops through that white. And cranberry cobbler is a major favorite around here. Okay, so that's our 3/4 cup, so 3/4 cup of white sugar. Alright, and then you need a 1/2 cup of chopped nuts of your choice. I often do slivered almonds. Today I'm going to do pecan chips. So, I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of those on top. So I'm going to start here. This is a 1/4 measuring cup, of course. Well, that looks really pretty. This is going to taste very good. And get the other one going here. Alright, and now I need to use my handy dandy KitchenAid mixer to mix together the more crust part of the cobbler. I finished mixing together the batter for my cobbler in my handy dandy KitchenAid mixer, and I popped it on top of the cranberry nut and sugar mixture. And what I mixed together in here was, first I popped in 2 eggs, and I had the mixer whip them and beat them until they were fluffy. And then I put in 3/4 cup of white sugar, 3/4 cup of white flour, and a whole stick of soft butter. And you get kind of a yellowy batter, which is really neat, and it's very buttery. And it'll be even more yellowy if you're using omega-3 eggs and grass-fed butter. So this is ready to be set to the side and be popped into the oven pretty soon. But while I was doing that, my sweet potatoes finished cooking. So I just now got them all mashed up here in my KitchenAid mixer. So I thought I would share with you with the mixer going. Hopefully it's not going to be too crazy. I'm going to get this going and mix the sweet potatoes some more while I add some stuff. And I just have my recipe over here with me. So let's get this going, and I'm going to start pouring in a cup of white sugar. To that, need a 1/2 cup of milk. I had to dig the milk out. It was kind of in the back. Then you need 1/3 stick of butter, and I'm just eyeballing it. want vanilla extract. And then we're going to add 2 eggs. And rinse the hands. Make sure that gets all mixed together. That looks fabulous. I am now going to butter a large 11, like a 9 by 11 baking pan. I'm going to butter it. I'm going to pour this mixture in it, and then we're going to top it with some brown sugar and some marshmallows. And I did verify, by the way, that I have enough sweet potatoes to make a good sweet potato casserole, but not enough to make a sweet potato pie. So I'm not going to do that this time around, which is fine, because I already have 3 pies, well, 3 desserts that we're making, cranberry cobbler being one of them. So I took the sweet potato mixture that you saw us just now do in the KitchenAid mixer, and it is in this baking dish. Now, since I'm not going to do the sweet potato pie, I have extra pecan chips left. So I'm going to sprinkle some on here. I'm not going to do a whole bunch because I think they can overpower the flavor that I like to go for. But I think that'll be a nice variety. So we're going to give that a try. There. And now, with my clean hands, I'm going to sprinkle on brown sugar on top. You notice I didn't measure those pecans, and I am not measuring the brown sugar. You just eyeball it. What looks good? I've never measured this. So today's going nice and smooth. Went ahead and stayed up late and slept in this morning so that I'll be nice and awake tonight, because it is going to be a late night. And took it easy a bit this morning, hung out with my husband. He is off work today. And then I cleaned the house, and now here I am working on tomorrow's feast. And let's see, our party starts in about 3.5-ish hours, so I've got time. My feast isn't going to be as extensive as a Thanksgiving one. That's always our most extensive. Alright, that is definitely plenty of brown sugar. I'm going to rinse my hands, nice dry. And let's move on to the marshmallows. And of course, I like to do the mini ones. I think they melt more uniformly, and it's easier to get the amount that I want on there. And again, I don't measure with the marshmallows either. I just start pouring or popping them on top until it looks good to me. And yeah, we do sweet potato casserole with Thanksgiving and with New Year's, because it is a favorite, and it's not something that we get tired of. And I'm just going to fill in the corners and along the edges here. And this is a nice big bag, 16 ounces, so I'm not going to use all 16 ounces of marshmallows. But instead of giving them to my kids to munch on, I think I want to save them so that when we have leftovers on Wednesday, if anyone wants to melt some extra marshmallows on top of their sweet potato casserole, they can. So I'm going to pop this in the cupboard. Alright, and my oven is heated up. I have it heated up to 350 degrees. I'm going to pop both of these items in there. The sweet potato casserole will come out after 35 minutes. I will check the cobbler after 35 minutes. If it's done, it comes out. If not, I'll just keep rechecking it every 5 minutes or so. So let's get these in there. "35 minutes, And yeah, I have a timer on my oven. I never use oven timers. I really like this Taylor timer. It's got 2 timers on it that you can run simultaneously. So I usually just use this. Another reason I like this is I can take it with me around the house. If I'm going to be doing some work in another room for a while, then I can put this in a room with me, so I'm guaranteed to always hear my timer. So I'm going to pop this on the counter. We're going to get ready to move on to the next thing. And my daughter, Miss Rachel, has joined me. She's going to help me with some of the feast. So she just got off of a video call with her best friend. So now she's going to work on one of our pies. So she's working on in the background here making a chocolate custard pie. So she just now grabbed a nice big mixing bowl. You'll also want a whisk when you're ready to mix it. Whisks work better. And then it's best to mix this with a whisk. And what she's going to do is in that bowl, she's going to put in 2 cups of milk, 1 cup of sugar, a ½ cup of flour, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then she's going to put in about 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And after that, she's going to beat and add 4 eggs, and then she's going to put in a ½ stick of butter. She's going to mix all that together with a whisk. This pie makes its own crust, so she won't have to worry about a crust. She's going to whisk all that together, then she's going to butter a pie pan and pour it in, and then that will be ready to bake. While she's doing that, I'm going to get ready to work on our 3rd dessert, which this year is going to be a buttermilk pie. So my daughter has the chocolate custard pie all mixed together and in a buttered pie pan here back there. It needs to wait for its turn in the oven. The cranberry cobbler and the sweet potato casserole are still in the oven for about another 13 minutes. Meanwhile, I made the crust for the buttermilk pie, but I need to pre-bake this crust before I can do anything else with the buttermilk pie. But for making this crust, this is a really simple, easy, fun, and delicious flaky crust. What you do is, in a bowl, mix together 1½ cups of white flour, 2 teaspoons of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. I like to use fine sea salt, a ½ cup of grapeseed oil, and then 2 tablespoons of whole milk. Mix it all together. It should be a kind of a crumbly mixture that doesn't want to hold together very easily. And then get out your pie pan. I butter my pie pan first, so you can see what works for you, but I butter my pie pan, and then you just pop it out of the bowl into the pie pan, press it in, and it will start spreading around the pan, then press it up the sides. And then once it's pressed all around, you can use a fork to just press in a pretty design in your top crust. And that's a nice, simple way to make a pie crust without having to get out the rolling pin and get flour all over the kitchen, especially if you're only making a crust for 1 pie. So I have 1 pie that's making its own crust, and that's the chocolate custard pie. I have the buttermilk pie I just made the crust for, and our 3rd dessert is, of course, a cobbler. So all I need to make 1 crust. And the sweet potato casserole and the cranberry cobbler just came out of the oven a few minutes ago. So I heated up the oven from 350 up to 400 degrees, and I just popped the pie crust in there. So it's going to cook at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, I am getting to work on cabbage salad. So in this large bowl, I put in 1 whole head of cabbage that I cut up into small pieces. And then I also cut up a whole bunch of scallions or green onions, about the equivalent of a couple of handfuls of cut up scallions, and tossed those in. And then I took 1 packet of chicken flavored ramen noodles. I took out the seasoning packet, set it to the side. I'll be using that later. But I broke up the ramen noodles and popped them in here. You don't need to cook the noodles. So yes, in this bowl I have the scallions, the cabbage, and the ramen noodles. It looks really pretty. It's cute. So I am just getting this mixed together, and then I'm going to make the dressing for the cabbage salad. I just grabbed a smaller bowl to mix the dressing in for the cabbage salad. So I got the cabbage set off to the side, the cabbage mixture. In this bowl so far I put in 1/2 cup of olive oil. To that I need to rinse my tablespoon measure. To that I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And I like to use raw organic with the mother. There's 1 and 2, and there is 3. Then I'm going to get out another tablespoon, and I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of white sugar. This bag of white sugar is almost empty, but I have another bag for when this one's out. Wow. Basically 2 tablespoons left in the corner, so I'm just popping it in. Okay. Then a half teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of pepper. So this is about a half teaspoon measure. Here we go. There's half salt. I'm going to open up the pepper. And there's half pepper. I'm just going to take my spoon and mix it all together. And it'll take a moment because I want to make sure I get the pepper distributed. Everything all mixed together. Yeah, that's a good dressing. Now I'm going to take my cabbage scallion noodle mixture here, and I'm going to pop this dressing right on top. Now I'm going to mix this all together. Now once this is mixed together, like I said, you do not need to cook the ramen noodles. This is to sit in the refrigerator cupboard overnight, and the noodles will actually soften to a fabulous consistency for this salad because of this dressing. It will soak in this dressing, and they'll have a fabulous flavor. Now also optionally, you can add your chicken flavor seasoning packet to this as well. And I'm going to go ahead and add that. You don't have to add it, but I think it adds a little bit of something. You can also add the seasoning to your dressing mixer when you're mixing it together. I do it both ways. There we go. You can get everything all happily mixed together, and then the cabbage salad will be done. Just needs to marinate overnight in the refrigerator, and it'll be perfect for tomorrow. And the pie crust is out of the oven. It is gorgeous. So now I am working on the filling for the pie crust and making a buttermilk pie. So in my KitchenAid mixer, I just now beat 3 eggs until they turned nice and frothy. Now I'm going to get the mixer going slowly while I add some more ingredients. So hopefully you can hear me. Okay, I think that's about good. Alright, so now I need to add a stick of butter. A cup and a half of white sugar, measuring cup, so I have to do this one twice. And then I need about 3 tablespoons of flour. That's about what I have in here. So, here's my tablespoon right here. So that's 1. Yeah, this is working. 2. 3. Okay. Okay, let's get that mixing again. Okay, now I'm going to get this mixing until it's smooth. Now I need to get the buttermilk. I'm going to add in 1 cup of buttermilk. By the way, if you don't have enough buttermilk or you want to make some more, you just take a couple tablespoons of store-bought buttermilk, put it into a mason jar, like a 1-quart mason jar, and then fill the jar up the rest of the way with milk, shake it, pop that jar closed in your cupboard overnight. You'll have a jar full of buttermilk the next day. So that's always handy if you use a lot of buttermilk or you don't have enough, then you can do that to have enough buttermilk. Alright, so I'm going to get this mixing again. It's going to mix in the buttermilk. And I need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And about a tablespoon of lemon juice. I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's see here. Doing about an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, so I'm going to do half of this 1/4 teaspoon. There we go, so a little bit. And I'm going to get this all mixed together. And there we go. So I'm going to pour this very liquidy mixture into this pie crust. And then I am going to get the buttermilk pie and the chocolate custard pie both baking in the oven at 350 degrees for approximately 50 minutes, give or take. I'll start checking them after 40 minutes. So while the 2 pies are in the oven, I am actually working on a little bit of something for tonight's party. So I have a whole bunch of these little cups, and they all have their own lid. So last night I made a big bowl of vanilla chia pudding, and now I'm just serving out some vanilla chia pudding per little bowl. And I'm going to put a lid on each one. They're going to be like little snack size, serving sizes, little snack sizes for people who want to try it. And then those who like it, they can have multiple of these, or I will have extra in this big bowl that I can just dish out for them. But this is a fun way, especially for the kids, but for everybody to try vanilla chia pudding. And it's very, very, very healthy and yet super delicious. So to make chia pudding the night before, what you do is you take a 1/2 cup of chia seeds, pop them in a mixing bowl, pour on 2 cups of organic, unsweetened vanilla almond milk, and then put in about 2 or 3 tablespoons of pure maple syrup, the real stuff, not Mrs. Butterworth's, the real stuff. And then you want to put in about a teaspoon or 2 of vanilla. That's it. Mix it together really well. Cover the bowl over, stick it in the fridge overnight. The next morning, it will be pudding. It might look frothy on top and seem liquidy, but mix it up and it turns into chia pudding. And it's delicious. So I did that recipe, but I tripled it. I have a big bowl here full up with the chia pudding, and I am just using my trusty spoon here and serving it up in individual cups. In addition to that, we also have 100% juice, no fructose corn syrup juice, little juices that we have, and I'm probably going to make a mountain of granola bars. And that's pretty much the treats that we're doing. I might make some tea, and then some of our guests are also bringing more treats. Whew, good evening. So I am wrapping things up, fitting things in the fridge. The 2 pies will be coming out of the oven in about 19 minutes. I will set them out to cool and then pop them into the fridge. I just got supper started on the stove, so I need to clean up and get these 2 pies finished up. So I need to clean up, make supper, we need to eat, then we need to clean up from supper, and then we need to get ready for the party. So this is gonna all go pretty fast. We are setting up for the party. So I got our gift bags out and organized for which one goes for who, and then a bag of extras for some people that I'm not sure are making it or not. And my husband's getting ready and we're all getting set. We got some extra seating out here in the living room so that we have plenty of places to sit. And the treadmills are always a hit, especially a lot of the kids like to go on a treadmill and sometimes compete and see who can go the most. And we decided not to have the food go out on the table because I think the dog would enjoy trying to eat it and it would be harder to keep an eye on her. So we set up a food station here in the kitchen. This is the goodies and food that we'll be providing. And the two pitchers are two pitchers of lemonade I just now made. And then we got cookies, a whole bunch of granola bars in 3 different flavors, nice stack of napkins, got some Capri Sun 100% juice bags, and some chia pudding, and I have more in the fridge for anyone who wants some. Thank you for helping organize it, Miss Rachel. And then we have open counter space over here where some of our guests are bringing some food, and then we'll have them set out their food over here. And should this get full, we do have a little bit of area over here. And we'll use a table if we need to, but I think us having this stuff here, I think we're just going to need this space here, and it'll be pretty good. So yeah, our guests will be arriving very soon, so we've got to finish getting set up. confetti!
Wow, that's just... Oh boy.
I'm plugging my ears.
I'm scared.
It's gonna hit.
You might want to plug your ears soon.
I am sitting down and taking a bit of a break. It's almost 3 in the morning. The party was really cool. The last of our guests left at around 2 a.m. And so I just finished getting the house cleaned up, trash thrown away, dishes washed. Dishwasher died today, so we're now hand washing, which is fine. So yeah, dishes washed, dried, and put away, and counters cleaned, and I just finished sweeping and mopping the kitchen floor. So I'm going to relax while I wait for the kitchen floor to dry, and then I need to take a shower and get ready for bed and hit the sack. But yeah, it's pretty fun. And for New Year's Day, we'll just sleep in until we're done sleeping, and get up and work on the feast. Well, good morning everybody, and happy New Year's Day. I am just setting up breakfast for a few of us. Everybody's just kind of waking up at their own time right now. So I'm just setting up for my husband and I some chia pudding with some fresh blueberries on top. And then as the kiddos wake up, they can get some chia pudding and throw some berries on there, or they can make some toast and grab an apple, whatever they'd like to have for breakfast. And meanwhile, my husband has our ham going in the roaster, and it is smelling amazing. It was still frozen, so we have it going for a while. I didn't have it fully defrosted. But yeah, this is first meal of the new year, and I love chia pudding. And I just did a little bit of editing, and we just kind of hung out for a while. And these are some sweet rolls that are going to be going into the oven to get lightly toasted in a little bit. Meanwhile, what I have in the oven right now is the sweet potato casserole we made yesterday. Just heating that up. The ham is just finishing up and has a glaze on it that my husband put on it. So we are going to be having our feast in about a half hour. Had a good feast. We just did a bit of a cleanup. We got dishes soaking in some hot soapy water in the sink. We just cleared the table, put away leftovers, and cleaned counters. And we are now getting ready to head out to the movie theater, and we're going to watch a movie. Woohoo! 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 Woo! Woohoo! 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 Yeah! You need more have some sweet potatoes going, and my camera is not angled right. No one can see anything. Okay, now I have no head.
Oh, my sweetie's cobbling together some cobbler.
Yeah, baby. Oh, okay, not filming the dog. Here you go. Ow!
What the heck?
Blood pie. Okay, I'm not bleeding.